Welcome, dear viewers, to a world where the veil between reality and nightmare wears thin. A place where the shadows whisper secrets they shouldn't know, and the things that go bump in the night, well, they might just be real. Tonight, we journey into the abyss of human fear, armed with 5 terrifying tales plucked from the depths of Reddit's NoSleep. These aren't your average campfire stories, oh no. These are chronicles of the unexplained, the unsettling, the utterly believable. So dim the lights, huddle closer, and prepare to question everything you thought you knew. Because tonight, dear viewers, we dance with the darkness.
Imagine, if you will, the suffocating silence of a late night, the kind that presses in on you, amplifying every creak and groan of your old house. Our story begins with a young man, home alone, grappling with this very silence. He tries to distract himself, scrolling through endless memes, losing himself in the digital world, but the silence persists. It feels heavy, almost alive. Then he hears it, a whisper, faint, barely audible, but undeniably there. He brushes it off as a trick of the mind, the house settling, anything but what it could be. Yet the whisper returns, a little louder, a little closer, seeming to seep from the very walls themselves. It's not a language he recognizes, more like a guttural rasp, sending chills down his spine. He checks the windows, the doors, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. Everything is locked, secure. Logic tells him it's nothing, but fear, primal and instinctive, whispers a different story. The whispers grow louder, more insistent, circling him now, a chorus of dread emanating from the darkness. Paralyzed with terror, he retreats to his room, the one place he believes safe, burying himself under the covers. But the whispers follow, slithering under the door, weaving themselves into his sanctuary. He can almost feel a presence now, cold and menacing, closing in. He tells himself it's just the wind, a draft, anything but what his gut screams at him. Sleep, when it finally claims him, is a restless, fragile thing, plagued by nightmares of unseen entities and voices that claw at his sanity. The next morning, the sun paints the room in a normal light, chasing away the shadows and the terror of the night. He tries to convince himself it was all in his head, a product of an overactive imagination. Yet a part of him, a small, terrified part, knows better. Days turn into weeks, and the whispers return every night, each time louder, more menacing. He knows with chilling certainty that he won't survive another night.
Our next tale takes us to a bustling city, a place teeming with life, where a young woman named Sarah finds herself plagued by a different kind of darkness. It starts subtly, a fleeting glimpse of movement in the corner of her eye, a shadow that seems to linger a moment too long. She dismisses it as fatigue, the city's relentless energy playing tricks on her senses. One night, as Sarah settles into bed, her phone cast aside after scrolling through social media, she notices it again, the shadow. It's in the corner of her room, darker than the surrounding darkness, its edges shifting, pulsing with an unnatural life. Fear, cold and sharp, pierces the haze of drowsiness. She tries to rationalize it, telling herself it's just the streetlights playing tricks on her. But deep down, a primal fear takes root. Every rustle of sheets, every creak of her aging apartment building sends her heart racing. Sleep, when it finally comes, is punctuated by nightmares, the shadow always present, always watching. Days bleed into weeks, and the shadow becomes a constant in her life. It's always there, lurking in the periphery of her vision, a silent, menacing observer. Her once vibrant world loses its color, fear becoming her constant companion. One evening, as Sarah sits at her computer trying to focus on work, she sees it. The shadow moves. It detaches itself from the corner, slowly, deliberately, like a predator stalking its prey. Panic surges through her, turning her blood to ice. She wants to scream, to run, but terror roots her to the spot. The shadow glides closer, its form shifting, contorting into something monstrous, something not of this world. The story ends leaving Sarah's fate uncertain.
This next story takes us from the bustling city to a place seemingly forgotten by time, a dilapidated Victorian mansion perched atop a windswept hill. It's here we meet David, a young writer seeking inspiration, who stumbles upon a secret that chills him to the bone. He rents a room in the mansion, drawn to its isolation and eerie charm. The caretaker warns him of the mansion's past, of whispers and shadows, but David dismisses them as folklore. Days turn into weeks, and David finds himself captivated by the mansion's mysteries. One afternoon, while exploring the attic, David stumbles upon a door concealed behind a dusty tapestry. He brushes aside the cobwebs and throws it open, revealing a small, forgotten room. The air inside is heavy, stagnant, carrying the weight of forgotten memories. In the center of the room sits a rocking chair, its wood warped and aged. As he reaches out to touch it, the rocking chair begins to move. Slowly at first, then gaining momentum, creaking back and forth as if propelled by an unseen hand. Terror grips David's heart. He stumbles back, scrambling to escape the room. He slams the door shut, the sound echoing through the silent mansion.
Our journey through the unsettling continues, this time leading us to a roadside motel, its neon sign flickering a desperate plea for attention against the backdrop of a desolate highway. This, dear viewers, is the setting for our next tale, a story that explores the raw, unfiltered terror of the unknown. It centers on Emily, a young woman escaping a past she'd rather forget, seeking solace in the anonymity of a one-night stay. She checks into room 104, its faded wallpaper and musty smell doing little to ease the growing unease in her heart. Exhaustion, however, soon overpowers her apprehension, and she falls into a restless sleep. She's awakened by a bone-chilling cold that seems to emanate from the very walls themselves. The air is thick with a cloying dread, a palpable sense of wrongness that sends shivers down her spine. She tries to ignore it, to attribute it to the old air conditioning unit rattling in the corner, but a primal fear whispers a different story. That's when she hears it. A soft humming coming from the bathroom, a mournful melody that seems to seep from the very pipes. Her heart pounds against her ribs as she slowly approaches the bathroom door, each step echoing the growing dread in her heart. She pushes the door open, the humming intensifying, only to find the bathroom empty. The shower is dry, the mirror fog-free. Relieved but shaken, Emily tries to rationalize the experience, attributing it to fatigue and the long drive. But as the night wears on, the strange occurrences escalate. The bathroom door opens and closes on its own, accompanied by the sound of phantom footsteps pacing outside her room. The humming returns, louder this time, morphing into a wordless chant that seems to claw at the edges of her sanity. Emily's escape from room 104 is a blur, a desperate scramble for freedom.
And now, dear viewers, we arrive at our final tale. A story so unsettling, so deeply disturbing, that it will leave you questioning the very reflection staring back at you from the mirror. This is the story of the mannequin in the mirror. Our story begins with Alex, an aspiring artist working the late shift at a sprawling antique shop. One night, Alex stumbles upon a striking antique, a full-length, handcrafted mannequin its porcelain face frozen in a serene, almost lifelike expression. He's drawn to its beauty, its haunting gaze seeming to follow him. As days pass, Alex notices something strange. The mannequin seems to shift positions overnight. He finds it turned inwards, its vacant eyes staring directly at his workstation. The incidents continue, becoming more frequent, more unsettling. One night, Alex catches a glimpse of movement in the shop's large, ornate mirror. He turns to face the mannequin, its porcelain face inches from his own, eyes gleaming with a malevolent intensity. From that night forward, Alex refuses to return to the antique shop.
There you have it, dear viewers, 5 terrifying tales from the depths of Reddit's NoSleep that prove sometimes reality can be far stranger and scarier than fiction. Which story chilled you to the bone? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to share these tales with your bravest friends, if you dare. Until next time, sleep tight and keep a light on. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.